Welcome back to Marketplace Mastery. I am Mike Shellback. In this module, I'm going to go over my personal onboarding procedure. Obviously, you guys can do whatever you want. There's a million ways of doing it. What I do isn't the only way. It's not that I'm right and you're wrong. There's a million ways of doing it. I just find the way that I do it to work well for me. Maybe you guys will have a different way of doing it, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. As long as the client gets all the information, you're going to be in a good place. So when it comes down to my onboarding procedure, after I have already wrote the application, submitted the application, and received the eligibility letter, we put them into the plan, we enroll them into the plan, and then I personally send out a welcome text message. We used to do welcome emails, and in the emails, it would basically break down the plan that they have, the price that they're paying, leave them a summary of benefits, and explain the next steps on how the process works. What I do now is everything through text messages. It's a lot faster, a lot easier than to have to send one message at a time. So I load everything into my automation program, which includes the name, the date of birth, the address, the phone number, the plan, the cost, the subsidy, so that I can reference it back in the messages that I'm sending the members. So the first message that I'll send them is just going to be a welcome to the family type of message, thank them for their business, and then I'm going to send them a few messages after. I have a whole drip campaign that's set together that's going to first be like an onboarding welcome, then they're going to get another message that's going to tell them the plan, it's going to give them the price of the plan, and then in the next couple of days I send them a message just explaining what else we offer, because to be quite honest with you, a lot of times members may not know that you offer life insurance or Medicare, and maybe their mom needs it. So maybe you want to tell them, I always send them a message that lets them know, by the way, if you think we did a good job with your health insurance, you should see what we do with Medicare and life insurance. And then I send that to them as well. I also send them a message about a week later asking for referrals. I can't preference this enough. Ask for referrals. They're not going to give them to you otherwise. Finally, after I send them a message about referrals, my last message concerning the onboard is going to be a message that's going to ask for reviews. So I send them a message and ask them politely, if you think we did a good job, you can spend a minute and give me a review on my Facebook page, and here's a link for my Google page. I'd really appreciate it. Keep in mind, if the member thinks that you're helping them and you care about them, they're going to go extra far and help you. They're going to send messages to you. They're going to make sure that they tell their friends about you because you've helped them. So it's the same thing. I constantly do that as far as my onboarding is concerned. Now, if there's any documentation that's being requested of my members, I also have campaigns that are set up that will send them a constant message every 5 to 10 days. The way that these messages work, because of the fact that the documentation has 90 days to get into the marketplace, I want to make sure that they're aware of it. I want to make sure that they're constantly thinking about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm not only going to tell them that they have to send in documentation, I'm going to tell them what they could send in. I'm going to tell them when the deadline is so that they're well aware of the fact that this has to happen. And I send it day 5, day 15, day 25, day 35, day 45. And then eventually it gets to the point where it says this is your last message. If you don't send in the information, chances are you're going to lose your subsidy. You may even lose your insurance. Keep in mind, if they don't turn in the documentation for income, they just lose their subsidy. The insurance does not cancel. But if they do not turn in documentation for citizenship, the plan goes away. They're not eligible. So that's going to be a huge problem. So make sure people are well aware of how these policies are working and make sure that they get all the information that they need to get back to you. Because it's really up to us in order to get the documentation into the marketplace. The clients are going to be extremely confused. So send them messages. You can do it with a phone call. You can, however you like to do it. You can send them emails, however your client responds back to you. With me, my clients, for the most part, really appreciate me me texting them. So that's what I typically do. I send text messages for their onboarding procedure. They probably get about 8 to 10 of them. I don't have many people that are having any problems, but they appreciate you for reaching back out. They don't realize that this is automated. They think that you're actually sending it to them every so often. And it's, again, just to remind them, I don't want you to lose your insurance. I don't want your price to go up from $50 to $450, whatever the case is. So as long as you're on top of it and you're making sure your members understand what the process is, however you do it, it's not wrong. So go ahead. If you have any additional questions about my automation process, please reach out. But for the most part, I automate everything, makes my life a lot easier. I'm assuming in time you'll probably want to do the same thing. Up front, it may not be worth it if you only have 50 members or something. Yeah, you can typically do that yourself. But when you get into the 300-400 members, it can get kind of repetitive sending out the same messages constantly. So that's pretty much it. Onboarding procedures, very simple. Automate as much as you can and have a wonderful day, guys. Peace and love.